And we're live.
What's up, everybody? It's Brian. I'm back finally from the dead. I kind of got my calendar confused for the last couple of weeks, but I am alive and here with my guys. I got the ex-waffler. We got we got Aaron Johnson, and we got our buddy Andrew K. So what's going on, man?
Andrew,
Yes.
we're not going to let him slide on this because I really think it has to be said on
It
air.
really does. It does. It very much
Brian-
does.
Brian, do you care to explain to the folks that are listening how exactly you missed the podcast last week?
I thought it was Memorial Day.
What's funny is on Memorial Day, we talked. You had a talk with us, and you were like, yeah, I'm going to be out of town on Memorial Day. So the week after, when you're not out of town, you're at home, you're like, it must be Memorial Day because I work.
Yeah, we're wondering where Brian is at, and he's actually sitting on his couch.
Yeah,
And we're just doing the show without him. And Brian said, well, I thought it was Memorial Day. Did you notice that nobody was grilling?
Dude, I was just, I have no idea.
You worked.
I don't know what
You worked
happened.
that Monday.
I totally lost it. I'm
Yeah,
lost.
dude, you didn't even have the day off.
I know. I'm a loss for words. I totally screwed that one up.
Okay, just so that we had that documented, that I just wanted to make sure that went on record.
No,
Needed to
and yeah, it definitely did because that
Missed
was
his own show for a second Memorial Day.
in a row. Yeah, so sorry about that. That was a big stupid misunderstanding on my part.
Well, Brian, last week we talked about Eternity War.
Yes, we did.
Andrew and I
Okay.
talked through that for probably, I went back and listened. I think we were well over an hour on Eternity War.
Nice.
And there was so much more we could have talked about. I mean, we actually kind of tapped around it without giving too much away. So it was really fun to tear through that with you last week, Andrew. I look forward to us going through something else like that.
Yeah. What should I have on hand? I don't think I have those books right now, but I've got my encyclopedia that I got in
Yeah.
recently. Did y'all get that?
I did not yet, but tell everybody.
No, yeah, no,
Oh,
I want to hear about it. I actually thought I pre-ordered it. I didn't.
but you didn't.
I didn't. I just ordered it today, so I have Amazon Prime, so I will have it in 2 days.
Well,
Yeah, please.
Thought he
Please.
pre-ordered.
do y'all want to talk about it right now, or do
It was
y'all want
supposed to
wait?
arrive on
Yeah.
Memorial Day.
Tell us about
Yeah.
it. 'Cause I haven't gotten mine.
Yeah.
yet.
Okay, so
Yeah.
first off, this book is terribly large. It's heavy. It's something that I'm sure some of you into wrestling. I know Brian is. Brian,
Yes.
do you ever pick up one of those replica belts that's like legitly heavy? Like
Oh,
you can
my-
use it to hit somebody?
Me and my son have like 4 of them. Yeah,
Okay, so this is about as heavy as one of those replica belts, I think.
yeah. I heard. I heard the book is gigantic. I heard it's really like stupid gigantic.
It's really nice sized. And then in it they give blurbs, pieces to different characters and items. A good example is in the very back. There's 2 pages for the Wind Raider. The Wind Raider gets a lot of
Really?
screen time. 2 pages for the Wind Raider. I was really happy with that.
So they went into vehicles as well.
They
Huh?
went to vehicles, jet sleds,
Wow.
jet crawlers.
Awesome.
When I was reading it, I was looking through the characters because a lot of my favorite characters are inside here, as everyone already knows. Pretty much all your favorite characters are. They've got even like the Mighty Spectre and Drago Man. But they had something that was really cool. I'm a huge vintage Filmation fan of
Right.
Colossor. Colossor, the giant golem thing that He-Man has to fight to stop or whatever.
Right.
It's been a
right.
while. Well, when I went through it, I looked into the seas and I'm like, oh dang, there's no Colossor. What has happened? I felt suddenly gypped, like, oh my god, where's Colossor? Well, going to find out, if you look at the table of contents, which none of you
Right.
can because I'm the only one with it. It has 7 chapters of different stuff. It has locations. It
Oh
has
my
spells
God.
and magics. It has artifact devices, weapons. It has
That's what I
beasts,
heard. Yeah.
creatures, and monsters. So Colossor is under artifacts, devices, and weapons, which totally blew my mind that Colossor was not going to be a character in the first part. On the inside pages, oh my God, there's some Earl Norham art that's
Oh
just
man.
blown up. I cannot wait for the PowerCon Earl Norham print set because there's
Yeah.
just so many cool pieces in this book that I've already seen. I might already have in another book or not, but it's just really cool to frame this book and what it has in it.
Well. Remember, he did a lot of the magazine
He did.
artwork.
The
So
posters, yeah, and the
yeah, yeah, and the covers,
So-
yeah.
They had Colossor listed under artifacts.
I believe so. I think he's under artifacts. I'd have to go back because, like I said, this book is huge.
Now,
Well, it's
how
interesting.
Many,
Go ahead, Brian.
how many pages is it?
Oh, it's
I heard it's like in the thousands. Is that true?
really close. It's 700. It's
Oh,
700.
gosh.
Yeah, well, that's close enough to 1,000. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty. Now, size wise, is it the same size as the comic strip?
It's the same size
or-
as the art book. It's the same size as the art book in
Oh,
the
That's a
Filmation.
decent size.
It's
That's a
a
good
it's
size.
a big sized book.
Yeah.
Some of these things are just a picture and a little blurb of words. Some of them are just a little blurb of words. But there's a lot of pictures inside here, and they use pictures from anything from the Eternian Wars,
Right.
the Eternity Wars that we talked about last week, all the way down to Filmation, to the comic strips, to the art they did for the classics. Hell, there's even a couple classics,
Oh, you're
pictures
kidding.
of classics inside here too. Yeah, 'cause,
Really?
each thing has headings to where it's talking about what their affiliation is, what they were like in the Mike Young productions, and the MV Creations comics, and the Motu Classics. And
So we have
comics.
like each iteration of the character
Correct.
kind of broke out and defined by how
Did-
they were presented in that thing. That's
Correct. So
Quick question.
Yeah,
Did Illumina make it in the book? Is she in there?
I'm pretty sure she is. I'll go look for her right now.
Awesome.
Give me a second. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I saw her inside there.
I hope
Um,
she is.
I think I was looking up. I think
Yeah,
the reason
she's
that
got a
they-
blog here. Yeah, she's in the
Awesome.
2008 classics. It says.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. Because that might lead to a figure then. So that's good. I like that. And
Illumina.
They even have a trivia little blurb here where it says Illumina was planned for the 2002 MV Creations comic and appeared in an advertisement for an upcoming issue, but the story featuring her was never published.
right.
And then we
Right.
also still have her tiger that is a possibility, also.
And
Correct.
I didn't look inside the creatures for her cat because I have no idea what the cat's name is, but I know it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I don't
Yeah.
have a name. Her female
Yeah,
male.
I forgot the name as well. I think Val or Emiliano told me once. I forgot.
It says it's a common misconception that her female mount is a descendant of the battle cats
Excuse
of
me.
old. However, she is an entirely different species, genetically closer to the bloodthirsty panther.
Correct.
So yeah, she's the killer.
So I have open right here in front of me Scareglow. And I freaking love Scareglow. I think a lot of people like Scareglow. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 different blurbs about him from different things.
Now, when you say blurbs, what do you mean? Like paragraphs or?
They're anything between a paragraph to 2 paragraphs. At least 2 of these are 2 paragraphs.
Okay. all
I'm
right.
an English teacher, so the blurb is however much detail they want to go into. The first one's the mini comics, of course, from '83. Then they've got the '86 Star Comics from Marvel, the
Right.
'86 UK comics, the 2002 MV Creation comics, and then they have the classics. And the classics is huge.
Yeah, the NBC was what, the scare, the spirit, the Halloween comic, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And they've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different photographs or pieces of art for Scareglow on this one page. This is the Scareglow page, by the way, so it's just him. But there's a total of 6 pieces of art. Like one of them's a picture of the classics figure, and the
That's
very
awesome.
topper is like a vintage piece of art that they drew for him, and instead of being white, he's actually yellow.
It's friggin' awesome.
Oh wow!
It's great.
So where's that artwork from? Is that?
I couldn't tell you, but it's definitely 80s.
Did
they-
now? I don't know if you read it or not,
Yeah.
but did they specify? Is it Scareglow? Is he just Scareglow, or is he actually Skeletor's ghost?
Or is
Okay,
he
so
Karak Nul?
well, actually, that's what they give you here. So they have under him, they have titles. So they've got a little blurb for each character where it might say titles, what their titles might be, their other names, their affiliations, their weaponry, and their special abilities. And under titles, he has the evil ghost of Skeletor, and then the evil ghost serving Skeletor. And his other names
Right. Right.
is that other name that we've already known, and then another one is Scareglow, where there's no space in between.
Okay.
So,
All right. So we get
it's pretty cool.
quite a bit of information. I cannot wait to get this book. I mean,
Me too, man. I've been dying to get my hands on that thing.
So
Yeah.
Rotar, y'all know Rotar, of course. Rotar
Yeah.
is given a full half page because they also go into the Italian Magic Boy magazine. They give you a blurb on that one, and the mini comic,
Really?
of course, and the classics.
I just thought maybe since it was like Rotar and he's half, they just give a half page.
Probably. Rokon got a full page and a paragraph, an extra paragraph on the next page. Roboto got like a page and 3/4. It looks like Rio Blast got like a page and a half almost.
I want now.
let's see.
Did you read anything on the Rio Blast? Did they mention the?
I
like
know
he
what
was
you're
supposed
gonna
to be a part of Brave Star. Did they mention?
Yeah.
yes. They do not.
No?
they-
That sucks.
They have the Star Band under affiliations. They have Star Band Marshals, though.
Okay,
Star
Oh.
Band Marshals would be
that was
right?
Brave.
Brave
what's
Star.
it? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Brave
That's
Star's
Brave
crew.
Star. So that's
Yeah.
the only thing they have for Brave Star as far as I can see. Because the annuals don't talk about it, the Marvel Star Comics don't. The UK magazine does not. The Classics does not. The DC Comics do not. But
Wow.
they did include Star Brand Marshall under affiliations.
Oh, all right, cool.
So there's a crossover there that they're actually putting in print. That
Oh, you know what? The UK magazine actually. Look at the UK magazine, or the comics magazine, and it looks like they reference Astro Jail and the Star Brand Marshals from the Star Brand Galaxy.
Awesome.
So they don't mention too much, but it looks pretty cool.
Right.
So who would you say I know you've not had a chance to go through the whole thing yet, but just kind of like glancing through it, who would you say probably gets the most play? Is it He-Man, Skeletor, or is it something
So
else?
yeah, He-Man and Skeletor have their own set of pages, multiple pages each. Tila got a few pages. Evelyn got a few pages. I was really happy with that. Prince Adam, just right here, Prince Adam gets 3 pages. Just Prince Adam gets 3 pages. And then under He-Man, he gets several. Under, I think there's even like a King He-Man. I'd have to go look again. But they give He-Man and Skeletor quite a bit, of course. I think that's most. I was a little disappointed that She-Ra doesn't get enough. She got a little bit less, but Sheila got some. Or what did I say? She-Ra. I don't know what I'm saying.
Sheila, she got what she needed.
Sheila got what she needed. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking.
So did they cover all of the Princess of Power characters also?
Yes. So filmation-wise, I'm pretty sure all the characters inside here.
Okay.
They've got
Yeah,
King Grayskull. I don't see King He-Man, so I think King He-Man's probably just under one of the portions of He-Man himself.
Did they do all the New Adventures characters as well?
Yes, they did. They did New Adventures. They did Filmation. They did 2000X. I'm pretty much sure that this is everything.
So they're just kind of like, okay, this set of pages is dedicated to He-Man, and then on the He-Man pages, it has subsets of
Yes.
like Battle Armor He-Man and.
Correct. Let me go to He-Man and I'll actually find out. Hell, the movie stuff is inside here. You can actually there's pictures. I just saw them. Pictures of Courtney Cox's parents.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
because we needed that.
Yeah, we definitely did. Let's see. Okay, so I'm looking at here's Prince Adam. Let me go back to He-Man. This book is huge, so just turning pages is like, ooh, Hordak. It's so much too. I love that portion. I think Hordak's probably one of my favorites. Hero got a
Yeah.
good half page, I think, or no, he got most of a page.
Oh,
Hoove is right here. There's even He Slave, which is
he's slave.
the clone of He-Man from the New Adventures.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so under the classics, they have okay on this. There's several pages for He-Man. Let's see, I can count like 2, 4, 6 pages for just He-Man right here. And on the last set of pages, it has all the classics figures, the pictures of them, including like New Adventures, Laser Light, Battle Armor, and it's got all the like the pictures of the actual figures
Oh, wow.
with their accessories.
I think it'd be interesting to see what's on the Wondar page.
I was looking at Wondar earlier. I'll go pull it up.
Yeah, because that's just be interested to see how they represent that.
It's Wonder Bread, damn it.
I think they gave him two little blurbs. Let me go pull it up. Here it is. Wondar. Okay, so they put him from the classics, and then they put him from the DC Comics actually that we've been reading. The 2012 DC Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have trivia. The trivia is Wondar's action figure was a nod to the persistent rumor that a variation of He-Man had been released in the 1980s as a promotion with Wonder Bread. In keeping up with the theme, the action figure came with a loaf of bread as an accessory.
It just this whole Wonder Bread thing still boggles my mind. It's like, how the hell can a huge corporation like Mattel just totally cannot recall where this creation came from?
That's mind blowing, man.
Yeah, to me, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, and I've always been of the belief that it wasn't a mail away from Wonder Bread because again, Wonder Bread would also have record of this. Wonder Bread is still around. I'm pretty sure it was a mail away within Mattel that had to do with a free figure. I'm pretty sure the reason they might have forgotten it is because why not? I mean, it could have been the way that they got sued. Remember, this figure was made in what, 82, I think? It was manufactured in 82, and it closely resembles the Conan figures that they weren't allowed to make.
Right. Well, basically, they were saying it was the Conan figure itself, but they chose not to use it, and they had so many of them. Instead of throwing them out, they did. Supposedly, they did a promotion for them.
Correct.
Well, that to me makes a lot more sense.
Yes, and that's why Mattel wouldn't probably want to talk about it. Like, they don't have records of, oh yeah, we broke this law where we made something that the Howard family estate can sue now for.
So and they probably wouldn't even. I mean, if that were the case, they not only the fact that they wouldn't want to talk about it, but that legally they may not even be able to talk about it. Correct. So there might have been no record of that.
Yeah. So I mean, think about it. Like, if there were records, someone could have searched. So I'm sure if they had records, they could have been destroyed, lost, whatever. But I mean, it just makes the figure fun. I mean, I don't have to get to the bottom of it. I guess I'm not searching for the right answers.
I don't care.
That's what I come to. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care, like you said, but I do want to get to the bottom of it too. For some reason. I mean, it's just I
definitely got to get to the bottom of it.
It blows my mind that just this huge conglomerate corporation can't come up with an answer. It just does not make sense to me. Like, how the hell don't you know where this figure came from? Just come clean and say, hey, listen, we made this figure as the prototype for the Conan line that we were going to do.
If they come clean, though, they can be sued again.
Yeah.
Remember that there was a huge lawsuit in the 1980s between the Conan line and the He-Man line because the estate of Robert Howard wanted to sue for the billions that Mattel had made.
Yeah, off of the design that looked like Conan toy.
Yeah, so if they come out and say that it was, they could still be possibly sued.
But if they come out and say that, what if they say, like, okay, we jumped the gun and decided to go ahead and start producing the figure without the permission or without...
Okay, but if they did that, all the He-Mans look exactly like that one figure. It was the same body, it was the same legs, it was the same head as our He-Man.
So there'd now be a profit issue.
Yeah, every bit of profit from He-Man would then have to go. There's no like, oh, we can admit it that it was a mistake. If they admit it at all, they get sued,
right.
And all those billions of dollars
have to be paid back by somebody.
You have to get paid back by Mattel. Mattel would go bankrupt if it became known as this line started off as a Conan line.
Yep. Well, you know what? Then, in my heart of hearts, I believe that it's the Conan figure, and what you guys are saying is the reason why they'll never come clean and say it outright.
Yeah, that's. I think that's right. I mean, we can only speculate, and that speculation's been going on forever. But the fact that we talked about this last week, I like the fact that character gets a nod. It's not. I don't necessarily care about the name so much. I mean, Wondar, but it was cool to see that character in the book, and it's cool that they've got him in that as well.
Yeah, I think they do an adequate job. They could go more to details about the old action figure, but this is not necessarily about the old action figures. In fact, of all the blurbs, I think they don't even touch on the action figures. They touch on the mini comics.
I was going to ask you that. So it's not so much centered around the toy as it is the character themselves.
Correct. It's centered around the character. And so what they have, like a good example is Titus here, okay? They have Titus under the classics, and then they say in the 1982 Motu toy line. I have not seen hardly any of these that mention the Motu toy line that we're originally talking about, but because Titus only has 2 representations in the vintage Italian released toy line and in the classics, right? So Titus has to have it. But in every other version, because there were mini comics, because there was a show, because there were other comics out there, I mean, you think about it, our action figures got a small blurb about their action figure on the back of the card, right?
Yeah.
Like Cobra Khan says he'll squirt water at you, right?
Yeah.
So Cobra Khan doesn't have a lot of backstory from the backer card of the action figure. So it makes no difference whether they include that or not, because in a lot of cases, it's probably just repeat information from the mini comic. Mm-hmm. So they include the mini comics instead. And since Titus was never in a mini comic, they had to put him on the Motu toy line in 1982.
Right.
So I think it's really rare. I think it's that one, and then Megator, they get that. But as you notice, we don't get one for Wondar, which is exactly what you're asking. But Wondar, they have the trivia about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, the Megator in the book, did they go into what does he become, like a zombie or something like that in the classics?
I think they do, actually. Let me go pull it up here.
Oh, that's interesting too.
Yeah, because in the comic, actually, here he is, Megator. Okay, so they used the 1982 toy line, and they actually do mention the Italian Magic Boy magazine. Because remember, since he was an Italian character that they'd released, that they had him apparently depicted in the thing. In the Motu classics, he was a evil giant who served Hordak during the Great War. Okay. King Hiss discovered Megator remains and magically reanimated him as a mindless zombie. So yeah, it talks about his zombie version or his zombie head. And this is under the Motu Classics. So they're using the information from the
bios from the classics.
The bios from the classics, yeah. But like a good example.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I wondered how much of that would be in there.
Well, they did a pretty good job of that because they separate it from the other stuff. But here's Mechanic. Mechanic is on the very next page. They've got the Filmation Mechanic, which is the animated series.
Do they talk about his son?
Yep.
They do?
The unnamed man and his son Philip were separated. Yep.
Awesome.
And the father sustained an injury to his neck and was rescued by Man-at-Arms.
Wow,
Perfect.
that's awesome.
So they have that for the Filmation. Then they have the mini-comic version that Mechanic was an Eternian hero and a brave member of the Heroic Warriors. Then they give him the Golden Book version. Then there's the German audio play. Then there's the German intra part Condor Motu Comics. Then there's the UK comics, the German APRA comics, the Mike Young productions, and the classics.
Now, guys, before I forget to X's, is there on YouTube or anywhere that anybody knows that the German audio tapes are transcribed in English?
No.
Because I own every German tape, but I
taking German lessons.
But unfortunately, he can't listen to any of them because he doesn't know German.
Yeah.
Or a tape player. Do you have a tape player still?
I have the He-Man tape player, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even put him in the tape player, period, because you know how they used to break like crazy.
Yeah. Hey, you know what else I got in here? Right after I finished up with the classics, I forgot. There's also DC Comics 2012 for Mechanic as well. So they also have this version from the Eternity Wars that we read the other day.
Nice.
So they really do a good job. Even like Mask has here, and Mask has a blurb for his disguises that he uses. Remember Mask?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there's Master Sabrian.
Sabrian
that everyone's crazy about.
Yeah.
Merman gets a whole little blib here. Mermista has got a full page for Mermista.
It sounds like they really did a good job. I mean, it says that on Amazon that Val Staples it had the title, and then it said by Val Staples.
Yeah.
So I guess
he did a lot of work on it, but there's a whole list of names of people who did work on this.
I
would imagine that Val was a part of the organization of all of the facts.
Oh yeah,
gathering of all of the facts, and
James was a part of it. Even Dave Clark, who we all know online. John Carroll was a part of this. Juka, Danielle,
right?
John Callis.
Those guys know their stuff. Those are the guys that know. What to bring to the table, and it shows in this book. If what you said so far, I mean, pretty much they took a piece from the original DC series, the mini comics, the Filmation, the new DC stuff, the Star Marvel comics. I mean, it seems to me like they did a great job on this book.
I want to point out something to Merman here for a second, okay? So under Merman, they've got on the back page of Merman, because he's 2 pages, they've got actually both versions of the classics. The blue costume that was the TRU version and the original. And then they've got pictures from the comics that we did last week. They got pictures from all these different versions. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pictures on the back page for Merman, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the front page, including a really big one. But at the very bottom, it says Merman 2. And it talks about the son of Merman that was recruited to fight by Skeletine and Evil Lyn.
Really?
On the moon of Jerum. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So is Skeletine actually listed in there?
Yes, he is.
Okay, interesting.
So is there a picture of Merman too? Do they?
Yeah, they actually do. They do have a picture of Merman too.
Oh,
it looks pretty cool.
Does he look anything like his father? I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, he's not the same, but he's close.
He favors him a little bit. He's around the gills.
I'm a really big fan of this part. The Spirit of Grayskull. Remember the Spirit of Grayskull in the animated series?
Yeah,
it was the big face. Yeah, the head.
Yeah.
And then the smoke coming from the castle and the mini comics. It has its own blurb inside this. I thought that was.
Now, did they tie that also to the new Spirit of Grayskull character, or is that listed on the same page?
I think that's probably under King Grayskull.
Okay.
Right.
Because this is the mini comics, the Filmation. But they put the classics on there. They didn't include his photo though. They didn't include the photo of.
Oh, the flying head.
Yeah, they did the flying head and the smoke and the other big skull stuff, but they didn't do the actual like picture of the classics figure of the Spirit of Grayskull. So, but they did pretty well. I was gonna find Skeleton because Skeletor has so many pages here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages for Skeletor, and right before him is a full, almost half page of Skeleton.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what all does it list as far as his appearances?
Just the Motu classics.
Cool. I was going to ask you too when you're on Merman. I hate to we're bouncing around.
Yeah.
Did it list him for Eternity War?
Yes. Yeah, I can go back to that. Give me a second here. Where'd I put it? Merman. Here he is. Yeah, the DC. They call it the 2012 DC Motu Comics.
I wonder if they're counting that into Eternity War because
they are. They completely are. So the Eternity Wars is part of the DC Motu Comics from
2012 run.
Yeah, well, they don't give you the year that he showed up. They give you the year that the comics started. So they started with the first series, which was those mini comics we talked about, those little dollar comics, and then the issues that they released that were all part of Orko's fabrication, and then it starts in the new universe with Despera.
Gotcha.
I mean, yeah.
So
she's got her own part too. Despera's got her own part in here too. I saw.
I don't see, and I was just glancing through the ones that we were looking at last week, the trade paperbacks on Eternity War.
Yeah,
I didn't see Merman in that one. So
it's because he's in the earlier volumes before it became the Eternity Wars.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. I wonder, now that we're talking, I just wonder why he wasn't used in Eternity War, because that pretty much everybody got to play there. I mean, we even got some folks that we didn't know would. We don't have an issue of Merman's death at any point, do we?
I don't think so, but that's a good question.
Not unless they consider him dead from the NYP cartoon when they changed the stone and.
Well, Skeletor flipped. He flipped his magic and put them all back together because, after he crumbled from the stone, Skeletor walked by and flicked his hand and.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
back together, so he came back to life. But
yeah, that's right. He did bring him back.
I thought that too, man. They killed everybody. But no, I don't know. I don't recall seeing him in that last part of that, and I thought maybe was it somebody that got killed off. Was his babies listed from the Filmation episode where Merman had babies? Brian, do you remember that?
What?
Do you remember that, Brian?
Remember what?
About Merman having babies in a Filmation episode.
No, he did?
Yeah, he had children.
The fishmen.
Yeah, they're like little mer children or something.
It doesn't share anything about that.
Yeah, I wondered if they were in there.
They were in the episode the search for Teela or whatever. Teela's search for a mother. And they climb up the mountain looking for
Teela's quest. Let's see.
Yeah,
in the DC Comics in 1982, the mini comics. Oh no, well, in one of them they talk about him and his mer people. Of course, they talk about his mer people.
The mer people.
Yeah.
Mer people.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought it was a little odd in 2000 at MYP when he would go mer. It's like something go wrong mer. Oh mer.
Yeah. It's like it's a trademark mer.
Poor merman. Oh, that's funny though. So nothing about his little people or anything.
Oh, I'm sure there might be under creatures actually, because remember we're not looking at his creatures. We're just looking at characters.
Oh, we're just looking at characters. So there's a whole other because there's vehicles and
there's a whole other section.
Oh my god, I need this book so bad.
Beast has everything from Battle Cat to Chidbit and a Butterflyer. The Butterflyer from She-Ra.
Really?
They've got
is there a Point
Bright
Dread?
Star What?
Point Dread.
Oh, Point Dread, I think, is under vehicles. I saw Point Dread under vehicles, and Point Dread was like 2 pages.
Well, oh man, what about that vehicle, the Collector? Is the Collector in it?
I'm pretty sure, but I have to go way to the back. The vehicles are at the end.
Yeah.
So hold on a second. Yeah, the Collector's in it. It gets a full third of a page.
Now the Collector is what Skeletor used to summon the one we were talking about before, Colossor, right?
No, the Collector was their Skeletor's personal flying ship.
Yeah,
it's a little skull ship.
Yeah, they never made it. They never produced it as a vehicle, but it was in the Filmation cartoon.
Yeah, I thought he used like some sort of power from the Collector.
They did. Skeletor created the ship with the intent of using it to the abilities to resurrect the sleeping slow giant Colossor.
Yeah.
So they mention it right here. Yeah.
The
infuse the life into the statue.
That's a win for the king.
Yeah.
The dethroned king.
Well, they've also got 2 Count Marzo ships. The Count Marzo's Doombuster and the Count Marzo ship from the Filmation series. They've also got Critus Tank. There's the Disc Flyer that has a picture of Trap Jaw on it. There's the Disc Riders with the Snake Men on it.
Now I got a question for you. Do they speak about people like Count Marzo, Evil Seed, that had because of course multiple, because they both were in the Filmation and the MYP, and they both had totally different looks to them.
Correct. I'm pretty sure they're both inside the characters. Let me go look them up. Evil Seed, you said, and what was the other one? I forgot already.
Count Marzo.
Count Marzo.
Oh, and I forgot there's some really cool posters. If you go to Grizzlor, on the page next to Grizzlor, there's a full family tree of the Masters. It talks about everyone from Prince Adam's cousins, too.
Really?
Prince Doll and Prince Michael.
Oh, yes. They definitely show up for cookouts.
Yes.
Memorial Day cookouts.
Yeah, Brian was there twice.
That's right.
Okay. Let's see this close by.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so
Faker gets a full page, which is a lot of fun, of course.
Yep, does it talk about regular skin Faker, or is it just?
It does actually. It has a Faker that's just He-Man. Filmation He-Man with eyes colored white.
Nice. Yeah.
We do a bunch of stuff on that one. Hey, Fangor even has a big blurb. Fangor, the new figure that we're gonna get, that we've all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's got. It's like a paragraph. It's only one paragraph. It's not very big, but it takes up like 1/8 of the page.
But that's really cool that they even put that in there.
Yeah. They're recognizing him as canon, so that is definitely cool. Congratulations, Axel.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, there's also I-Beam, that guy that the big eyeball character from the mini comics as well.
Really?
So did they cover, because there is in one of the minis there in the back where it covers like new people.
Yes.
And we had like Forklift and
Mistletoe. I saw Mistletoe in there earlier.
Okay, so if it's there,
So we've got a full page. A full half page and a little extra 1/8 for Extendor, and right above Extendor is Evil Seed. And they've got 3 different looks. They've got the action figure from the classics, they've got the Filmation headshot, and then a 2000X headshot.
Oh, sweet.
So 3 pictures, half a page.
I like that. I like that they're recognizing all the different versions. I think that's great.
Yes. And then they also had under Evil Lynn on the Fear page previously, they got a full half page just on her disguises that she uses.
And she uses quite a lot in Filmation.
Yeah, disguises where she's other people. From Filmation to the movie to 2000X too.
Well, she tricked some folks in Filmation into giving her the Cordite crystals, I believe.
Correct.
And she was a beautiful female there. I can't remember what she was, blonde headed or not. Or what.
Lady Nadira.
Okay, there it is, Nadira.
Yep. To revealing the Cordite. She also has a big, it's like an 8th page picture of it, but it's got the picture from the end of the Eternity Wars when she gets special horde powers. Not to spoil it for anyone, but it's got remember when she gets special horde powers?
Yes.
She replaces
that's
Shadow
in there.
Weaver? It's got a full 4/8 of a page.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
her in that dress. It's that red dress.
Dude, I'm not even going to kid you. And I know we really were careful to dance around that last week because we didn't want to reveal it. But when I was actually reading that book the first time, and I got to that page where she's sort of stepping away into, that.
Yeah.
And then it showed her like in her glory. I was just like, whoa, that was impressive to me.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else has a blurb here is Fang. Y'all know who Fang is, right?
Fang.
Cobra Khan's pet from the 2000X.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And they've got it for the 2000X and the classics, of course, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was very cool that he's included in the classics.
Yep.
Well, he came with the figure, which is pretty cool. And he also freed him from the jail cell he was in.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for him, they wouldn't have got out of there.
Yep, that's right.
So I got a Blaster Hawk. The vehicle has a full page in the vehicles. A full page. What else? Then there's also Battle Hawk, and Battle Hawk gets like a third of the page. The attack track, of course, gets lots of different versions, which looks really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
including the Eternity Wars mini-comic version.
Really?
Did you see that, Aaron? Did you see the attack track in the mini-comics?
No. How was that portrayed?
Well, it's portrayed. It looks very different. It looks like a creature, like a robotic vehicle / creature, but it's got tracks. It's got treads that move around on the sides. But just for the Eternity Wars comic, it's pretty funny. So
I have to go back and dig that out because
I know, right?
I mean, I'm sure I haven't just missed it. There's just so much in those comics, man. I mean, you really have to.
There is.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, there's a jet sled and the land shark, of course, because who can forget those? And Laser Bolt gets a full page actually. Mantenna has his own ship. The Mantisaurus, which is like a full page.
Does it list any of those ships that were they were in the 85 or 86 magazine, and it was like you had that frog climber thing, that bat attack pack was in there.
From which comic was this? The 80s comic?
This was from the actual He-Man magazine.
Okay.
And they had listed some vehicles that were not made yet. And the only one that I think got made was that Mantenna. It showed Mantenna with this like backpack that had wings.
Mantenna's backpack.
Yeah.
It was called the Bat Attack or the Bat Attack Pack.
Didn't they actually make one in the 2000X series? The 2000X, they made that actually, didn't they?
Yeah, there is an eagle attack.
Okay, well here's the Batmech. The Batmech.
That's what it is.
The Batmech. Okay, so there's a Batmech here. There's a bat. Oh, no, you're talking about the Bat Pack. The Bat Pack.
Yes, the Bat
It's from
Pack.
the 2000. It's from the 1985 Motu magazines. The Horde used Bat Pack as an escape vehicle, and it's got a picture of Mantenna with the pack on.
So they actually do have that in there. That is
awesome.
Because that was just one little thing, and there was this slithering snake vehicle that had Cobra Khan in it, like driving it.
Yeah.
Don't know what it was called, but it was this crazy looking snake thing that looked like mechanized parts of a snake.
There's plenty of Horde vehicles here. Everything from dreadnoughts, cruisers, the flyers, the jet machines. Let me look through for snakes, because I don't think it's under Cobra Khan. I don't see anything under K.
Now they also get in the book into like spells.
Yeah. There's a whole section for spells that I haven't even touched on. I actually didn't really. Like, there was already too much to read that I was like, God, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. No, I heard they got into depth into the spells, artifacts,
lore, just like.
Right. Spell, all this stuff that you wouldn't expect to be in a book, yet it is, and they go into detail to describe it.
Yep. So, like, here's the artifacts, devices, and weapons, and they've got like the freeze ray, the freeze gun, the freeze cannon, the freezing cells from She-Ra. There is a force feed generator. There is the Eye of Eternia from the Motu Golden Motu books.
Okay.
They've got the Enchanted Mirror, and it's different from the other mirror. This is from the Brazilian Motu comics.
That Are you saying beer like alcohol beer?
No, Mir, as in Mirror. You just hear what you want sometimes. It's okay.
I love it.
There's a Book of Spells um, from Shadow Weaver. There's a lot of stuff in here.
Man, I wish I
Yeah.
could come up with this snake thing because it's really making me think that that's got to be in there because
It
you-
probably is.
Do you have the book, Aaron, or it's in the mail?
no, I haven't gotten it yet. I would love to get it. I just haven't gotten it yet. So, yeah, next couple of days, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, the Three Terrors are in here from the
Really?
from the Super 7 show.
Wow,
It
they
says
were very
2016
current.
Super 7 Curse of the Three Terrors cartoon, and it's the Three Terrors.
Do
From
they
the
mention?
show.
Do they mention the return of Faker or no?
I don't think so, but I mean that you're talking about. I'd have to go look up Faker, and I don't think I saw it under Faker because I read Faker
Yeah.
earlier.
Look at and see if the terrors are listed, like in your character part. Do you have like Terror Jaguar and Terror Bat?
Yeah, so it's under the factions, organizations, and species and races, and it says the Three Terrors, and it says Bat Terror, Wolf Terror, and
Okay.
Terror Jaguar. So they make mention of the three, but they don't actually separate them.
No breakdown
Awesome.
as if they were like individual.
This is organization. So right underneath it is the Time Agents, and to the right of it is the Tree People, and the left is Space Pirates, and the Spelians, the Snake Men. So and the Slaves even got one, and the Skelecons, Shadow People.
Wow,
so
man.
these are the races. These aren't even
Yeah.
creatures, so I could probably look under creatures maybe and maybe find it. But
Yeah, I'd just be interested to see if they got like any more backstory than what we know. You know.
well, that's the thing. You're asking if they created some new backstory or if they know something we don't already know. But I think this is actually pieced together from the stuff we already know and
Okay.
that we
Yeah.
can find. I don't think they had any like secret information they gave
That
out in
makes
the
sense.
book.
So there was nothing, nothing that was going to be added in as a spoiler that, oh my goodness, this is new.
Correct. I think this is all established information that we could have looked up, or people with knowledge would have. I mean, Aaron, I think you could have helped on this book if given a chance, because you know a lot more than probably me or Brian. So.
Well, it's just in little pockets. So I think that's probably, it's one of those cool things that you like to have that all together in one place.
Yeah. Oh, this book is amazing for what it is, and it's great. I've been reading it for the last couple of weeks whenever I get a little bit of extra time, and it's got everything. I can just turn to a new page and read something new, and like just cycle through the book, randomly without like going, oh yeah, I've read it all already.
Yeah, so I went in front to back on the last one, and then the newspaper strips. I'm still in the middle of that, and then I did the same thing with the mini comic book front to back. So it's just I'll do the same with this. That's a crazy amount of information to be all in one place. So very cool that Val and those guys organized that and put that together, and I hope we keep getting books, man.
Yeah. And it's cool too. It's all truth. Everything in it is true. It happened. So. That to me, it makes it even more credible.
I'm still digging for that snake, man. I wonder too on Point Dread or the Talon Fighter. Do they show the yellow and red version, or is it just the blue?
Talon Fighter has his own page or two. Let me go check.
I think that was only box art that got flipped around on, or there was.
Okay, so the Talon Fighter has 2 pages, and you're asking if it has a what exactly?
Well, there is a 3D. I think it was a model that you.
Yeah, it's a model. They
correct.
Each one had 2 different colors.
Yes.
It did have reverse colors. Yeah.
So there's a yellow and a red and yellow.
Yeah, I have the Talon Fighter. Well, I have one sealed, and then I have one open.
I've got one open. But
the one that's open is yellow and has like orange. Like the canopy is orange, but it's mostly yellow.
So do they speak to that at all in there?
I don't think so. They have a really cool version on the Motu UK comic and the German Enter Part Condor comics, and they've got a really cool one that looks like a real bird.
Oh, they're drawn different in those?
Yeah, like they've got different art styles in all of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 including the DC Comics one that we could talk about here. We could have
Yeah.
talked about last week. There's one that's actually the toy from the classics that they released.
Oh,
And then
awesome.
they've got like the record and Mattel book set. They've got the Golden books. They've got the UK books, the Ladybird
That's
books.
that's so freaking
So they
cool.
don't make mention of the model kit, I guess, because I haven't read all this yet. But it looks nice, and this is all just for the Talon Fighter, not even for Point Dread. I'm sure Point Dread has its own section somewhere else too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Point Dread, of course, disappears and reappears, as everybody already knows.
Travels through space and time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Appears when you need it the most.
Ooh, so Ladybird books had a Zodak spacecraft. Remember how Zodak had it like that chair?
Yeah, no, he's got his.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is a different spaceship. This is it looks like a Firebat from the G.I. Joe universe. It's kind of
Oh, really?
but it was only used in the Ladybird books. It looks like.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, and the sword of Horakov and the sword of Eternity have their own spots as well on their swords.
No, that's awesome that they. I mean, that
Yeah.
really impresses me that somebody. I mean, because there are a lot of folks that don't know about it, and then to have them recognize that this is the sword, and it probably gives the history of. Does it talk about
Yeah.
Hordak forging it, or?
Yeah. Was made by Hordak in the Forge of Grayskull upon assuming a physical form and conquering Castle Grayskull.
Sweet, man.
Yeah,
that is so awesome.
There's more to it. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm not.
Yeah,
trying to
because it
read
gives
through
it
the book.
away.
Yeah, I stopped pretty quickly there. The techno-organic virus is inside here, of course.
Oh, we talked about that last week.
Yes,
Also.
we did. And then there's also the Sword of Agents, which I love. That's one of my favorite swords. And the teleportation ray that's used by Strongarm was given this teleportation ray. Remember in the classics figure?
Uh-huh.
I think he's the one that got that one. The Tablet of Truth.
Yeah, the little Jetsons looking gun, right?
Yeah, that gun. The tower tools are inside here, and that's they actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Tower tools are in here, and it says it was used in the Marvel Star comics actually.
Yes, they were, I believe. Yeah. That's awesome.
And the Terror Claws for Skeletor are right here, so you get your Terror Claws still. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in here.
So it breaks that out. The Terror Claws, it breaks it out as like a secondary weapon.
Yeah, it breaks it off as like a weapon or artifact or device. The claws were purple and forged by Spikor for Skeletor. Remember, that's what he was at his blacksmithing days, of course, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was back when he was his early days as a smith.
Yep, and they had sharp claws at the elongated fingertips and seemed to increase Skeletor's strength. Ooh.
Oh yes.
Oh, boy.
I love it. And then He-Man gets this crazy flying thing that has flying thing balls.
Yeah, the
going
flying
in.
fists.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
I'll have to
design.
find that. There's a lot of them here. I'm in the Meccano Ray. And,
Yeah, man.
There's some crazy stuff here.
Wow, that's really cool stuff. They related that.
The magical harness. Remember the magical harness?
Yes.
The He-Man
Yes.
wears? They
Yes.
reference the German Motu comics, and there's a picture of Skeletor with the magical harness on right now.
Oh, no way.
Really?
He-Man's stuff on here. Ooh, and the masks of power.
Oh, I love that. That's
love the
Mask of
Masks of
Power
Power,
is one
yeah.
of my favorite. I
That's a good
absolutely
one.
love that thing, and the fact that they break that out also. Now, do those creatures in Mask of Power? Did they have a name?
Which
Uh,
ones?
The little blue, or not blue, but pink and green little fellas that get into trouble in Mask of Power, and they take the
let's see.
masks.
I can't say.
I'm sure they do. I'm
I
sure they
wouldn't
do,
say
but they
there
don't
are.
actually mention them. They have a picture of them right here. I think they were like imps or something.
Imps or orcs or
Yeah,
something.
imps, but or kobolds or something like that. I'd have to look them up under the actual. Let's see here, the creatures probably. I'll look up imps. Ooh, Darklings are in here, of course, but of course they were going to be. I love Darklings.
Oh yeah.
No idea what those creatures were called because I'm not
Man,
seeing them
they
yet.
really have done a great job of covering everything.
Yep.
I was
The Kraken, the lizard bats from the German comics. Apparently, they look really
Wow.
weird.
Wow, they really covered all the bases. With all the references to the UK books, I'm really hoping that's their next out is the UK stuff because
Yeah.
that will really blow a lot of Americans,
Well,
people's
yeah, I mean,
minds.
those are stories and things that we haven't gotten to see yet, and things that we've never, got our hands on. So to be able to get that in one place, if they could do that, that would be amazing. I know we're time wise, we've really tore into this book as far as
Yeah,
what all we've got
yeah,
going on, but I know
yeah. No,
Brian, you had a thing or two you want to talk about. I think.
well, my stuff can wait. It wasn't important.
I put him on the spot. Oh, we can wait.
No, because this book is really it's astonishing.
Oh yeah.
It's
We
a
can
really
talk
good.
about the thing for hours. I can just keep asking Andrew to turn pages and
Listen,
tell me what's on it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Andrew's the only one with the book so far, so wait till you and I get it. I mean, we're gonna be talking about this thing for hours. So I guess with that being said, guys, I guess we'll say our goodbyes. So anybody want to go first? Go for it.
I'll say goodbyes for this week. Goodbye to the waffles. Goodbye to everything that we've always done. No,
Unfortunately,
Lucky Legends is not going anywhere. Page is good. It's staying there. Everything's good with that. Had some issues with the waffles this past week, and so we say goodbye after a full year of building this community and doing this thing, and we've been fortunate enough to do it for a year and do some charities and do that kind of thing. So it's just going to evolve. So it's bye for now, and next week it'll be something else. So that's my buys for the week, guys.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be on the show and share our knowledge or our lack of knowledge with the fans. So thanks for having me here again.
Yeah, man, always awesome to talk to you, Andrew, and you bring so much to the table. And Brian, you too, when you know what day we're doing it.
Yeah, we show up.
Yeah, when I get my days straight. But guys, it's we got a good crew. I'm happy to do the show with you guys. I'm glad you guys come every week, even when I get my days confused. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Doug. Thank everybody involved. Thank the fans. Come on down to Masters of the Galaxy Facebook page. Give us a shout about what you like, don't like, what you want to hear, what any insight, any input is good input, whether it's bad or good. We can do something about it. So please come, tell your friends, come down to the Masters of the Galaxy Facebook page. And until then, man, rock on. Have a good one.